Agents of Socialization by Dina Mae Shelton. Socializations help people learn to function successfully in their social work. Social groups often provide the first experiences of socialization: families, peer groups, communication expectations, and reinforcement norms. People first learn to use the tangible objects of material cultures in these settings, as well as being introduced to the beliefs and values of society. Myself, I've grown up in a Southern Baptist household. My family has been a very influential part of my life. Many of the norms that I know to society today has I have learned from them and my experiences over my life. My family has definitely very influenced me as well as my peers. Growing up, I grew up in a southern small town to where we had very social norms to our daily lives. We went to school, of course, went to work, and then we usually went home to our mom and dad's. Understanding the world. Your family is the first agent influence in your life. These people, such as your mom and dad and siblings, are the first to teach you what you need to know to survive. One example of this I remember is learning my colors. I remember my mom teaching me, she would show me the color and then relate them to a real world item. Red, for instance, would represent a stop sign, yellow would represent the sun. Many sociologists have recognized that race, social class, and religion can play roles in socializations. An example consists of a wealthy family teaching their children to act in a certain behavior in public. Another social norm I know that my family has very influenced in my life is my religion. Growing up, I was forced to go to church, as many my age were. My mom and dad soon made me also believe the same way that they did in being Baptist and also learning the culture of what it means to be a Baptist as well. My peers have had very the same influential parts of their life, or at least my friends have. They were the same as their parents would force them to go to church as well. I believe parents have a very influential part in the beliefs, such as what religion, as well as many values that they place within your life. Like I said earlier, my parents forced me to go to church because growing up, and now I voluntarily go to church every Sunday. Some values that my parents placed within my life that I do still hold true to is honesty and the value of hard work. My dad, growing up, he was actually a very influential part of my life. He taught me the value of what hard work means to not only me, but also my sister. So, growing up, I learned that from a very young age that if I was going to have to work, I was going to have to work and work hard at it. One inner internalized norm that I've grown up as is honesty. My mom and dad definitely relayed honesty to me and my sister. Growing up, I've always felt like I was not going on the same path as many people my age had because I never grew up drinking and going to parties or any functions that my parents didn't know where I was at. I was very honest with my parents and I felt like that was one of the characteristics I internalized from my parents. Hard work is another. Hard work was taught from a very young age from not only having to work for what I did want, but also learning me the value of a dollar. I feel like my life, I've expanded to social networking because of two very important reasons. My family actually give back to my community in many ways. My family actually helps by going to the food pantry and giving back to not only the people in need, but also sharing the gospel to others as well. We would network with many people in our community by doing so as well. Meeting new people, I feel like I've met plenty of new people over the facing of my life thanks to my mom and dad as well as my peers. My mom and dad were very influential people in our community, as my dad, being actually a business owner, gave back into our community not only by serving but also helping charitable wise as well. I feel like I've met many new people from my peers also. People that have been very influential in my life and actually have helped me along my way, even to getting into college and actually succeeding afterwards as well. Some things I do feel limited to is that I feel like I grew up with my family speaking for me instead of me giving my own opinion. Me growing up as a teen, I was not allowed to stay at any of my friends' house until I moved to college because my parents didn't really trust others that they didn't know very well, which makes me still today actually having trust issues with many people. My mom and dad, I understand where they was coming from now, but I'm also very thankful that they did limit me to some parts of the society I did grow up in. Influence career choice. My current career actually doesn't line up with my parents' belief. I am currently a tour guide at Maker's Mark, so I do serve and participate in alcohol, which is very unusual for most independent Southern Baptist folks. I grew up actually not knowing what I wanted to do with my life until I did come to college. I then went through a couple of majors and actually decided to stick with communications. Still today, communications has been a very influential part of my life, and I'm actually very thankful that I chose the career pathway that I did. Come fall 2021, I will graduate with a degree in communications with an emphasis in public relations, which will already kind of do my job already today. Because I inform people not only about Maker's Mark and their bourbon, but also about the history of our current location in Loretto, Kentucky. Through this, I have learned not only that some social norms actually do help with my tours and the process of making bourbon. Thank you guys so much for listening to my presentation. I hope you guys have had a wonderful day and a wonderful afternoon. Keep up the hard work with this semester, and I hope you don't realize and get stuck in some social norms that many people still do realize today. Have an awesome Sunday afternoon.